Hi, this is Professor Sudha Kolathuparambil, section 6.1 Random Variables. This section has 6 objectives. Let's look at the first objective. Distinguish between discrete and continuous random variables. If we roll a fair die, the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the probability of each one is 1 over 6. Rolling a die is probability experiment whose outcomes are numbers. The outcome of such an experiment is called random variable. A random variable is a numerical outcome of a probability experiment. Random variables are usually denoted by uppercase letters. So a statistician might say, let x be the number that comes up on the next roll of the die. And the probability of getting each side or each number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each one is 1, 6. So that is a number between 0 and 1. And if we add all these, like probability of each number, so probability of 1, probability of 2, probability of 3, probability of 4, probability of 5 plus probability of 6. Sum of all these probability, you can see that is 6 over 6, that is equal 1. Now let's look at how to distinguish between discrete and continuous random variables. Discrete random variables are random variables whose possible values can be listed. For example, the list of all whole numbers, the number of siblings. Continuous random variables are random variables that can take on any value in an interval. For example, the height of a randomly chosen college student. Another example is the amount of electricity used. Objective 2 is determine a probability distribution for a discrete random variable. A probability distribution for a discrete random variable specifies the probability for each possible value of the random variable. Since the values of p of x are probabilities, they must all be between 0 and 1. Second condition is sum of the probabilities must be equal 1. Let's look at some example to decide whether the examples are a probability distribution or not. So first example, p of 3, when x equal to 3, that means p of 3 is a negative number, right? So p of 3 is not between 0 and 1. So this is not a probability distribution. In the second example, if you look at the probability of each one, all these numbers are between 0 and 1. Now we need to check whether the sum is equal 1. So add these numbers and we can see that the sum is equal 1. So we can conclude that all the probabilities are between 0 and 1 and they add up to 1. So this is a probability distribution. In the third example, you can see that p of 1 is 1.02. That is not a number between 0 and 1. It is actually greater than 1. So definitely the sum also will be greater than 1. So this is not a probability distribution. 4 patients have made appointments to have their blood pressure checked. Let x be the number of them that have high blood pressure. We need to find the probability of 2 or more patients have high blood pressure. The events 2 or 3 are mutually exclusive since they cannot both happen. So we can use the addition rule for mutually exclusive event. So p of 2 or 3 equal p of 2 plus p of 3. Probability of more than 1. That means it can be 2 or 3 or 4. So again we are using the addition rule for mutually exclusive events. Probability of at least 1. At least 1 means we can use the rule of complements. Complement of at least 1 is none. So it will be 1 minus p of 0. Objective 3, the connection between the probability distribution and population. We can think of a probability distribution as describing a population. The probability of each value represents the proportion of population items that have that value. This is an example to find the probability distribution of x, where x represents the hourly parking fee for the randomly sampled space. So please read the question. Possible values of x are 1.50, 2, 4 and 450. And find their possible probabilities. P of 150 means number of spaces costing $1.50 and divide by the total number of spaces. Now find the probability of each one and make a probability distribution table. Objective 4. Construct a probability histogram for a discrete random variable. A probability histogram is like a histogram for a population. The height of each rectangle in a probability histogram tells us how frequently the value appears in the population. Each rectangle height equals the probability of that value. So this diagram represents a probability histogram for the distribution in table given on the left side. If we multiply this x and p of x for each one and add all these together, then we will get the mean. So you can see that the mean is 2.5. That means if we sample more and more families with 5 children, the mean number of boys in the sample families will approach to 2.5. We can write the mean of the discrete random variable using the symbol mu x equal sigma x p of x. To find the mean of a discrete random variable, multiply each possible value by its probability, then add the products. Another name for the mean of a random variable is expected value. And the notation for the expected value is E of x. This is an example determining the mean of a discrete random variable. So multiply x with p of x for each one and add everything together to find the mean of the discrete random variable. Remember, the mean is the measure of center for the probability distribution. This diagram represents a probability histogram for the distribution. The position of mean will be somewhere here 1.2, so it will be here. So if we imagine each rectangle to be a weight, the mean is the point at which the histogram would balance. The symbol used to represent the mean of a random variable x is mu x. It is not coincident that mean of a population is also represented by mu. Imagine that we had a population of 10 computer monitors and each monitor is labeled with the number of defective pixels it has. Now find the mean of this population. If we sample a monitor from this population, the probability that it will have a 0 defective pixel is 0.2. Because 2 computers has 0 defective pixel, so 2 divided by 10. That's how we are getting 0.2. The probability that we will have 1 defective pixel is 0.5 and so forth. So now calculate the mean of the sample. And we can see that the mean of the sample is same as the mean of the population. Imagine that we sampled a large number of computer monitors and counted the number of defective pixels on each. We would expect the mean number of defective pixels on our sample monitors to be close to the population mean of 1.2. This idea provides an interpretation for the mean of a random variable. If a probability experiment that produces a value of random variable is repeated over and over again, the average values produced will approach to the mean of the random variable. When the probability experiment is sampling from a population, our interpretation of mean says that as the sample size increases, the sample mean will approach the population mean. This is known as the law of large numbers for means. The law of large numbers for means tells us that for a large sample, the sample mean will almost certainly be close to the population mean. The law of large numbers for means, if we sample items from a population, then as the sample size grows larger, the sample mean will approach the population mean. Application of the mean. There are many occasions on which people want to predict how much they are likely to gain or lose if they make a certain decision or take a certain action. Often it is done by computing the mean of a random variable. In such a situation, the mean sometimes called the expected value. If the expected value is positive, it is an expected gain. If it is negative, it is an expected loss. When making business decision, executives often use probability distribution to describe the amount of profit or loss that would result. If E of x, expected value of x, is greater than 0, it will be a gain, and if it is less than 0, that means if it is a negative, it will be a loss. Similarly, in gambling, probability was invented by mathematicians who were hired by gamblers to help them to create a game of chance. So probability is an extremely useful tool to analyze gambling games. Insurance company also calculate the expected value to determine the premium to charge for their policies. Computing the expected value of a business decision. When making business decision, executives often use probability distribution to describe the amount of profit or loss that will result. So in this example, a mineral economist estimated that a particular venture had a probability 0.4 of 30 million loss and probability 0.5 of 20 million profit and a probability 0.01 of 40 million profit. Let x represent the profit. Find the probability distribution of the profit and the expected value of the profit and conclude that is it a expected gain or expected loss. This is the probability distribution of profit x. So this one is probability, so 0.4, 0.5 and 0.1, and corresponding x values are 30 million, 20 million, 40 million. Since this is in loss, that's why I put a negative here, and other two are profit, so positive value for that. Expected value is the mean of x, so find the expected value, that is 2. This expected value is positive, so this is an expected gain of 2 million because this is in millions, so $2 million. Objective 6. Compute the variance and standard deviation of a discrete random variable. The variance and standard deviation are measure of spread. The variance and standard deviation of a random variable measure the spread in a probability distribution of the random variable. So variance of a discrete random variable x is sigma x square, and the formula is summation sign sigma x minus mu of x square and multiply by the corresponding probability p of x. The equivalent expression for this one is the standard deviation of x is the square root of the variance. How to find the mean and standard deviation of a discrete random variable using TI-84 calculator. If we want to find the mean and standard deviation of this discrete random variable, first press stat, then edit, and enter these values in L1 and L2. So L1 will have 0, 1, 2, 3, and L2 will have 0.2, 0.5, 0.2, 0.1. Then press stat, then press calc, then select one var stat. Then enter L1, L2, then press enter. The calculator, the mean mu of x is denoted by x bar. Okay, so this is the mean. Okay, and the standard deviation, that will be denoted by sigma x. So if you cannot see that when you press enter, you can use the arrow key to scroll down to see this information. So in this section you learn the difference between the discrete and continuous random variables, and how to determine the probability distribution for a discrete random variable, and how to construct a probability distribution for a population, and how to construct a probability histogram, and you learn how to compute the mean, variance and standard deviation of a discrete random variable.